This is Adam and the Analog, episode 51. This week, we're talking about board games that would make excellent movies.
In the beginning, there were two dudes who talked about board games, and then they made a podcast. Adamantly Analog. I'm your host, Harrison Dunn.
And I'm Corey Murphy. What's up?
Hey, Corey Murphy. Another week, another chance to talk about games for way too long, and then you've got to edit it down so it's a reasonable amount of game talk.
Yeah, well, as we get better at this, more succinct and more accustomed to our, podcasting cadence, I have less editing to do each week, so...
Oh, I got to fix that.
No, you don't. It's great. I like it that way.
Hey, so how about this week we talk about board games that we'd like to see turned into movies. Put that cardboard on the silver screen, see what happens.
Was this inspired by the classic film Battleship?
It was actually inspired by the classic film Jumanji, but since we already did an episode on Jumanji, it wasn't inspired by that, and it was indeed inspired by Battleship, of course.
Let's just, for reference here, I forgot that Battleship was a movie, but it has a 41% on Metacritic, which is my go-to source of, is this movie worth watching? I'd say that's a resounding no. What are some other ones? There's BattleBots. Or not BattleBots. Rock'em Sock'em Robots. That's what I'm trying to say.
I mean, the other classic board game movie is Clue, right?
Yeah, well, that one's that's actually good.
Yeah, that one's actually good. So hopefully, Adamantly Analog, the board game movie podcast show, will fall somewhere between Clue and Battleship.
I'm seeing that the Rock'em Sock'em Robots movie was never made. It was going to star Vin Diesel.
Oh man, what a world we missed out on.
Yeah.
Well, before we get to that prime topic, why don't you tell me about what games you've been playing, Corey? What have you been playing recently?
Well, not Rock'em Sock'em Robots. We played a lot of games on Saturday. We had quite a marathon, but I wouldn't be listing off anything new because I've already talked to you to death about innovation and my new obsession with it. So, we played that again, of course.
I'd play that again.
We played Slay the Spire. We played another round of that. Died on Act 4, but it was good run while it lasted. And all in the same day, we played all of that and Castles of Burgundy. And I wanted to talk about that because though we've talked about Castles of Burgundy, we haven't got into the specifics on the expansions. And if you back to the new special edition version from Awakened Realms, you have all of the expansions in the box. But it's also not hard to add them because they're usually pretty small things. And so we played with the trade routes, which is one that I've enjoyed in the past. I have mixed feelings on it now that we've done it again. It was a very lopsided game, and I think that's a result of the trade routes. But the trade routes are this track of routes you put beneath the board, and whenever you ship your goods in the game, rather than just shipping them and turning them face down and, piling them off to the side somewhere, you actually put them face up on a track, and if the colors happen to align, you get bonuses, which are equivalent of like a whole free action in some cases. Like, they're really powerful. But basically what that amounts to is, well, it's more exciting to ship, which is good. I think that needed a little bit more excitement, but it's also way more random. And it caused, like I said, a very lopsided victory. I had a resounding lead for most of the game because I was going hard on the trade routes plan. And it was just, everything was coming up Millhouse for me. And it was just all lining up. So I got a bunch of free actions out of it.
Yeah, Lauren and I tried that one just once in our copy of the game. And I found that it took our normal brisk pace. We play that game 2-player a lot.
Yeah.
And we get it done in probably 30, 45 minutes. It felt like it almost doubled the length of that just because we were so hung up on this entire axis of gameplay that you'd never had to think about before.
Yeah.
The sell goods action is, do I need money right now, or do I not have or is this an opportune time to do it? And now we were thinking, okay, my next number on my trade route is this. Can I get that? And optimize that even more. And it just grinded everything to a halt.
Yeah. Yeah. So I don't know really how I feel about it. I mean, it was fun, but again, little more inconsistent. But I think if you're in for just a fun experience, you would enjoy the addition. Now there are like added hex tiles that I think we always have mixed in because I never separate them out. But one of them is it's like the geese or something. There's like a two
Yeah.
goose tile that comes up in the black market. I like that
Yep.
one a lot. That's just basically a wild animal that triggers any of the scoring for the other animals in that group.
Yeah. I like the goose tile. That and the cranes we use all the time too.
Yep, the cranes.
The building cranes, not like bird cranes.
Yep. Yeah. Have you done the vineyard expansion, the new one?
We did, yes.
Yeah, that's another one. I think similar feeling to the trade routes where it's just like, wow, this is pretty random too. It's just more stuff. The vineyards is basically a whole nother
Hmm.
duchy after the side of your board, and the tiles are just bow ties rather than hexes. But honestly, it doesn't change too much as far as the way that it works and the way that it plays. It's just, again, more choices to choose from.
Yeah,
And I like that. I think the more of these things, these randomized elements are added to the game, the more they balance out because you have more decisions to use your random on, and so there's more of a likelihood that you're going to get a benefit each turn when you roll your dice.
yeah, I can see that.
So, yeah, would recommend. You got to try it. I mean, come on, this is the greatest game of all time. Might as well mix it up a little bit.
Castles of Burgundy is very good, and then yeah, if you've played the base game a lot and a lot, and you want to mix it up, there's a lot in that box.
I never feel like Castles of Burgundy is stale though. I don't know about you. It's just
No,
like one of those games I could play forever. How about you, Harrison?
well, I've been getting a lot of different games to the table. I've busted out Panda Royale again. It has been at least like 3 months since I played it when I was feeling a hankering for it. So we got that playing at our game night. And then I also got a game off of my, I call it combination opportunity slash sell shelf, like the games that I was going to get
Yeah.
rid of. And then someone was interested in playing it. So I was like, okay, yeah, let's play it. And that is Rallyman Dirt from
Hmm.
Grail Games. And so this is a racing game based off of like rally car racing. Uh, and so the game comes with uh like feels like 30 or 40 of these just big beefy hex tiles, and you can make your own rally course every time, and then you can either play like a single race as a single rally, or a single course, or you can do a rally where you do like 2, 3, or 4 of these courses back to back, and then your car's condition transfers over to the next race, which is I think like the meat of the game that is really appealing to. So on each turn, you're not racing the other players like at the exact same time. It actually staggers it out, but you're just trying to get the best time on the course. So
Mhm.
in the first round, only player one plays, and in the second round, then player one and player two play, and then the third round, one, two, and three go, and etc. like that. So it's kind of the staggered start. So you're less likely to get in each other's way, but it can still happen. Um, but the way the game plays is you get a set of dice and you have to plan your course for your turn. You have 6 gear dice and you can shift up or down your gears, and then you have a couple of dice for like braking and coasting. And you plan out your route, and then you can either play it safe and roll one die at a time. And so each die has like its gear face on it and then some hazard dice.
Mhm.
And if you roll 3 hazards, you lose control of your vehicle and wipe out. But instead of
Okay.
rolling one by one, so like where you can like decide to stop if you don't want to risk it, you can go flat out and you just pick up all the dice and roll all of them at once. And if you if you don't lose control in that, you get a bonus in your time. So you get these little like -second tokens that you can then either apply to your score at the end of the game, or use them to like lock down dice in your future planning. So like, taking an extra second here to make sure you get that turn just right. I,
Nice.
the uh the first game that we played, the first race we did, we just used like the recommended first course, and it was so boring. It was just
No.
we were just kind of like, I guess this is all right. And I am so thankful that we played another game of it. We just decided, we're like, okay, there's all these mechanics we didn't even get to see that I taught in the rules, but they just weren't on this starter course that we set up. And we set up a random course afterwards, and it was much more exciting. It was much more exhilarating because we were all, it's almost like a puzzle game. You're trying to figure out how's the best way to go into this corner and like prepare for the next part of the course where you have to be going at a certain speed to hit a jump, um, things like that.
Huh.
And is a 4-player game and it's competitive, but we were all like commenting on each other's turns, like, oh no, if you do it this way, you set up this corner, uh, it was kind of cool. It was a cool experience. So yeah, that's Rallyman Dirt from Grail Games. I think I'm still gonna get rid of it just because like it's a hard sell for most of my game groups theme wise, but
Yeah.
it was kind of cool. I enjoyed it much more than I thought I would.
Yeah, I feel that way with like Heat too, where it's like I don't have a lot of friends who are super into the whole car racing scene,
Hmm.
but I have to convince them, come on, it's fun though, and it's light. It's not as hard as it looks, even though it's a giant box. Like, just trust me, we're gonna get
Hmm.
into it. You'll figure it out. You'll enjoy it.
Yeah,
But yeah, the theming does matter a lot.
it really does, and I think this game was designed for people who are like really big into rally car racing. I think for the right crowd, I can see this being like the flagship. Let's play this game for 8 hours. Let's do a giant rally for 8 hours.
Yeah.
Where we're just going to do like 6 courses back to back. I can see this being the go-to game for a certain group, and that's definitely not any of my groups. But it was still a cool thing to play out. All right, Corey. Enough talking about other games that can't be turned into movies. Probably. Let's talk about some games that we'd like to see turned into movies. How about that?
Yeah, although as we brought this topic up, I was thinking, I wonder what a Castles of Burgundy movie would be like. Probably not so interesting.
Maybe. For the Sundance crowd, maybe they'd like that.
Yeah.
Well, instead of a first player rule from a board game, I was just gonna say, hey Corey, when's the last time you watched a movie? And what was it?
Man, you really put me on the spot. I think it was probably the Barbie movie. Oh no, wait, I lied. I went to the theaters to see something the other day. What did I see? Rami Malek. You know, he's like a spy. Does this sound familiar? The Amateur.
Oh yeah, The Amateur.
Yeah, I saw The Amateur. It was okay.
I like Rami Malek. I liked him in Mr. Robot a lot, but I haven't seen that one. So
Yeah, I
that
gotta
sounds like it
watch
was
Mr.
more.
Robot.
Well, you haven't seen Mr. Robot?
No, I
Oh,
got I heard that was good.
that's a fun one.
Yeah.
Well, did you see that before or after May 1st?
Um, before me, this was in April.
Oh, okay. I saw the Thunderbolts movie on May 1st, so I think I've seen a
Okay.
movie more recently than
Yeah,
you.
no, you definitely have. Yeah.
All right. Is that a fair go first rule?
Yeah, well, fair.
Okay. By the way,
Especially since I don't
Thunderbolts.
really know when the hell it happened.
Thunderbolts was great. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
It genuinely feels like, oh, that's right. Marvel movies are good sometimes. They're really fun. That was a good time.
Cool. I've been hearing that, and it kind of plays with the whole idea of like the villains are just conflicted people, and it kind of makes you question like, are they good or bad? Is that sort of what happens with this one, or
I mean, it pitches itself as the anti-hero film, kind of like Suicide Squad or
yeah,
yeah, a group of misfit wannabe heroes or not wannabe heroes, the anti-hero, and pits them all together for a common cause, and it does pretty well at it.
yeah,
I would not compare it to Suicide Squad or other similar films. It's very much its own thing.
yeah. Okay, cool.
All right, well, let's get this show on the road. Hey, that's a movie thing, right? No, it's not really. All right, so my first pick, I'm just going to run into it right away, is Galaxy Trucker from 2007. This is by CGE. So, Galaxy Trucker is played in two phases. In the first one, it's like a timed phase. You're building your ship by drafting these tiles in real time to build a spaceship, and you got to get like cargo spaces and guns and engines and batteries all configured in the right time. And it's all like a light time pressure to it. It's all like player driven. The first one to basically say that they're finished, gets a little bonus, gets to go first in the next phase, which is actually flying the spaceships to your route. So the story is like some bleak, tongue-in-cheek, futuristic society where the space truckers are the least valuable. They're almost expendable. Like you're hired by some big corporate overlord, something to
Hmm.
drive trucking goods across the galaxy. So I imagine a sci-fi comedy movie in the Galaxy Trucker world, where you get like these big personality space truckers and they race across the galaxy to win it big. Maybe some of
Mhm.
them down on their luck, and others are kind of pushed into it because they got no other choice. And yeah, I think like it's a mad, 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 mad world, but in space, right? I think that'd be a lot of fun.
Yeah, I think so. I think it could be very silly, and
Yes.
very silly in ways. I'm thinking like, Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy tackles
Hmm.
the space epic kind of vibe.
Yep. Yeah. Definitely lighter hearted.
Yeah.
Yeah, because
Yeah, I like it.
the ships are blowing up all the time. You could just have like a group of, you start off with 15 wacky racers, and then just halfway through the game or the movie, oh, someone dies, and in the first 10 minutes, another person's dead. Oh no,
Yeah.
because the ship blows up.
Whoops. You
Yeah.
didn't spend enough time, checking for safety.
Yep. Exactly. You put an engine on the front of your ship.
Yeah. I gotta play that game. I still haven't, and I think the concept of it is very silly to me. I think it would be right up my alley.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. I really enjoy it. And because you said that, I'm gonna go find the list. I'm gonna put it on the list if
Put it
it's
on the
not already on
list.
the list.
Yeah, you brought it to my house last time we got together for games, and we never actually got it played, so
Oh,
it
it may
maybe
already
it's
be on
already
the
on the
list.
list, but
It's already
it
on the list.
remained there. Okay, my first one is a game that I was drawn to by its theme, and I think many are. And so, because of that, I think it would make a great movie because it's such an interesting and unique dystopian alternative past, and that is Scythe. And I'd take it even a step further to say Scythe: The Rise of Fenris, because it's already got this story baked into it about Nikola Tesla and I think his daughter, basically. And
Spoilers.
is that a spoiler?
I don't know.
I
I've
don't
only
think
played
so.
the first mission. I don't remember it.
Oh, yeah, no, I don't think that's a spoiler, I hope not, but anyways, if it is, it's, like, really early on in the campaign, and there's much more to be spoiled, that I won't do, so don't worry. But yeah, without going into too much of that stuff, I think there's just kind of a cool story that unfolds, but most importantly, it's sort of interesting to see this kind of, like, I don't know, would you say it's like a World War One era alternative past with mechs that are harvesting crops, but also battling each other in some cases too. And there's just this global war centered around Europe. And I don't know. I think that's cool when you mix in this sense of kind of like almost magic, science based magic, in that all of Nikola Tesla's inventions kind of are being used for the wrong reasons, and this global tension is really fun to play with.
Yeah, and there's even the like main characters in Scythe kind of have these larger than life personalities just in the figures and the player
Yeah.
boards that you see. Like everyone's got an animal companion, and it's not just like, oh, I got a cat, no, I got a tiger, that sort of thing. So I think there'd be lots of opportunity to make something cool there.
Yeah, Olga and Changa for life.
Yep.
That part always reminded me of the Golden Compass when people had the daemons that would
Yeah.
follow them around.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah, cool.
That's a
Yeah,
good
so
pick.
I think that one. I mean, there's not too much more that needs to be said about it because it's so rich in story and theme already that it's just like it's just waiting to be turned into a movie. So that is Scythe: The Rise of Fenris.
10 out of 10. I go see that.
Me too.
All right, my second pick. I'm going to go for a little bit of a weird one here, but I've talked about the game before because I absolutely love it. And that is 2019's Carnival of Monsters from Amigo. So, Carnival of Monsters is a card drafting game from Richard Garfield where you're collecting monsters from faraway lands and then putting them on display in your carnival. Uh, so, I think it'd be really fun to do like just a slightly campy like 80s family adventure type movie. You get like a group of young entrepreneurs or heroes that are going out into the wilderness to try to capture these crazy monsters and bring them back so they can make their fortune. I think you could do like a really cool adventure movie in that
Mhm.
style. And I'm just thinking, I mean, between like Labyrinth and Never Ending Story, I'd want to see those like real puppet based monsters come to life in this movie. I think that'd be super cool.
You want Jim Henson and Richard Garfield to team up?
Oh man. Oh man, that sounds great. Get him on the phone right now.
Yeah. Well, I think Jim Henson's dead, but
Well, Richard Garfield made magic and there's plenty of necromancy in there, so
yeah.
right? That's how it works?
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, as I was thinking about this, I was like, "This is gonna be a weird pick," but the more I thought about it, especially after I hit on like, the classic adventure movies from the '80s, I was like, "Yes, let's do this."
Yeah. That is Carnival of Monsters from Amigo.
Yeah. Yep, Carnival of Monsters.
All right, my second one. I think this one hits a little close to home. I think this dystopian future in this case is like, I don't know. I mean, we got Elon Musk in the world, so who knows what could happen, right? And
Mhm.
of course, I'm talking about terraforming Mars. And I think that could be a really tense space epic about landing on Mars and just having this very capitalistic approach to how we utilize the planet's resources. Just pushing the limit and just racing ahead to try to make it inhabitable before it's probably ready for that to happen. Maybe launching meteors and things at each other's crop supplies and stuff like that. So there's a lot of that already kind of baked into the game because the cards are so rich in that kind of story without this being anything close to a campaign game. I mean, it's very much just an engine builder Euro type of game,
Mhm.
but it is drenched in this kind of this theme that's just begging for a story to be made from it. And I think they've even kind of tapped into that because they're doing an RPG set in the terraforming Mars world now too. Have you seen that?
Oh, no, I didn't. That's
Yeah,
crazy.
yeah, role playing system. So there you have it. So my pick would be a very uncomfortable look at our not too distant future in the terraforming Mars movie.
See, I was thinking about putting that one on my list, and then I was thinking, well, isn't like every turn in that game supposed to be like 10 or 20 years or something like that? So
Oh yeah,
it's supposed to be over a seriously long time. And then I was thinking, well, that's just the TV show For All Mankind, right? And that's what they're going to be doing in the next couple seasons, probably.
yeah.
That's a there you go, right there. There's your prelude to the prelude to Terraforming Mars.
Well, it's kind of like, it's almost like the plot of Dune in some respects because
Oh
the whole
yeah.
point of Dune is like there's this planet rich in this resource that everyone else in the galaxy is hankering for.
So when SpaceX gets to Mars, if they bring back reports of a uh, psychologically altering super space mineral, we got to watch out.
Yeah, right. Yeah, something that you can eat and have extreme logical and forward-thinking cognitive abilities. That is not really an element of terraforming Mars. It is kind of
No.
almost based in scientific ideas. So um, there's not so much of the whole magic component that's present in something like Dune. But I think that's what makes it, yeah, more uncomfortable. So again, that is Terraforming Mars, the movie from Frick's Games.
All right. So for my last one, I was like, I I just want to pick something completely off the walls, and I'm looking at my board game shelf, trying to brainstorm, and there's like so many trading in the Mediterranean games are not going to make a great movie. The theme is, the theme is what's going to carry a movie. And then my eyes landed on this just absolute nonsense game that would be perfect for one of those stupid kids mascot movies.
Hmm.
And I think that Amigo and DreamWorks should team up to make a Bonanza movie.
Oh my
Uh,
god.
so Bonanza from 1997, the game about the Uwe Rosenberg game about trading beans, and all of the beans are these weird art of like anthropomorphic beings doing farming stuff or being on fire, based on what kind of bean they are. uh, and I could see these characters being totally cartoonized and brought on screen and just doing minions esque things. Instead of screaming banana, they're screaming bonanza, that sort of thing. And we had to have like a family comedy movie on this list too, right?
Yeah, I
I think
suppose.
I think I don't. There's a lot of board games that could probably be shoehorned into that category if the board game community was enticing enough for the movie industry. But my vote would be for Bonanza.
Nice. That would be interesting, that's for sure. What are you doing in that game? You're like trading bean crops with other players, right? Or something?
Yeah, yeah. You have a hand of beans. This is one of those games where you can't change the order of cards in your hand. And it's free for all, like just trading. But whenever it's your turn and you get something in a trade, you have to plant it right away. and the
Okay.
limitation is that you can only have 2 or 3 piles of beans in front of you. So, um, you're trying to, like, get them to a certain height so they score more points before you cash them out and sell them.
When I played it, I was really surprised by it. I remember thinking like, "What the heck is this crap?" And
It's
when the game
weird.
was actually going on, it was really entertaining and
Yeah.
pretty clever too. I mean, it is Uwe Rosenberg. I mean, this guy knows what he's doing. But even though it's like this kind of goofy looking card game, and you're like, beans, really? That's the best theme you got?
Yeah. The pro tip I hear is to stay away from the expansions because the expansions just get super weird
Oh,
and
really?
a little like weird and creepy almost too.
Oh, I
So
wouldn't expect that.
yeah, yeah. So just stick with Bonanza from 1997. That's all you need. Bring out
Nice.
the beans. Oh, and one of them's got to be voiced by Jack Black, of course.
All right, for
All
my
right.
last pick, I pulled in Audible,
I saw
and
that. Yeah, I was watching you edit the show notes as I was describing a previous game.
yeah, I thought about this. I mean, how perfect would a just one movie be?
You'd only need one of them.
Okay, no, it's not really just one, but it is. It is Sleeping Gods. I think Sleeping Gods would be a good one, and I wanted to include a. Well, I didn't want to overdo it with the campaign games because I think that's almost too obvious. I had toyed around with the idea of Gloomhaven. I think Gloomhaven would be great because it's obviously it's got its own story and like this vast world already created by the makers of the game, so it's like kind of
And
easy
there's
to make a.
certainly the audience for it. If the
It's
if any yeah, if any game's gonna get into a movie, it's that crowd. Or
yeah.
maybe Kingdom Death Monster.
Yeah, right, exactly. And but the problem with those is they're already like very played out. I think those themes of just, traditional RPG stuff is played out. Gloomhaven, what it has going for it is characters that do things that are almost unexpected. They don't have like the primary classes of, like your archers and rogues and stuff. They sort of
Yeah.
try their own stuff. So that I can appreciate. I think, you know, anyways, long story short.
Yes. Choice
My
is not
actual
that.
choice my actual choice is Sleeping Gods, and I think the reason is because the world that it paints is pretty unique, different, and it's very mysterious and curious, and it's kind of fun to explore it in the game. I think there's a lot to sort of uncover as you watch a movie about the same subject. And beyond that, the whole point of this game is you're kind of operating all of these people that are in your ship's crew as they, go through this obviously, like this unfamiliar world where there's these sleeping gods. No spoiler there because it's the name of the game. But I think as a result of that, you could have some really cool character relationship building stuff going on in this story, which often adds to more complex and more like emotional attachment to these characters as you lose them to failed combats and things like that. So, have you played Sleeping Gods, Harrison?
I have not. No, and I don't know what the story is about. So I'm reading a blurb on BGG right now. So you become Captain Sophie Odessa and her crew lost in a strange world in 1929 on your steamship, the Manticore.
Hmm.
Ooh. Okay.
Yeah, exotic islands. I mean, the whole premise of the game is it's this book that you sail through different pages of the book, which is just this vast sea, and there's different locations in the sea.
Hmm.
And you notice tons of things as you sail around, and it's like, well, what am I going to explore now? Is this shipwreck over here? I want to go check that out, or there's this cave I want to delve into. And as you do, you read different story hooks that kind of explain which path you're headed down when you do it. So the story is gonna be different every time you play the game because it's very open world, kind of sandboxy. Um, and I think that a movie in this world could create that same sense of exploration. It'd be a lot of fun. We have started a campaign of this. We didn't get very far in it. I think it's kind of been abandoned at the moment, but I do hope to get back to it because it's really pretty cool game. Clever combat mechanic too.
Yeah, right. Red Raven's pretty good with those story-driven, unique games. So I've
Yeah,
I know this one was super hyped when it was on Kickstarter and when it came out, but I never got a chance to play it.
yeah, yeah. Should try it sometime. Add it to the list. Except I don't have it.
Yeah, I was gonna
It's
we'll add a new section of the list called "If one of us gets this, we'll add it to the list."
Yeah, this is not a list game really. I mean, this is a game that you can play one time to understand like how it works, but you're just like scratching the tip of the iceberg at that point. I think and there's so much more to it that you really need to commit a repeat group to. actually getting into it. Anyways, that is my third and final pick. That's Sleeping Gods from Red Raven Games.
All right. Well, hey, look at that. Time flies when you're having fun. We've got our full list here. My list, I had Galaxy Trucker, Carnival of Monsters, and Bonanza. And Corey's list, we have Scythe, The Rise of Fenris, Terraforming Mars, and Sleeping Gods.
Yeah.
It'd be a long day of movies, Corey.
It would be. And before we leave this subject, I wanted to just throw out a couple of wacky ideas I had because because as I
Okay.
was planning for this episode, there were a couple I came across. I was like, that's just a little too bizarre. But first of all, let me just throw out Slay the Spire. I think that was cheaty, but I would like to see a Slay the Spire movie. um,
Uh, my cheaty pick, I was looking at my game shelf and I saw the Stonemaier Games Red Rising, based on the Red Rising novel series, and I was like,
yeah.
I kind of want to pick that because I want Pierce Brown's Red Rising to be a TV show or a movie or anything. Um,
Yeah. That's the same
so
thing, right?
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, to take that even a step further, I was looking at Dune Imperium going, "Hey, that would make a good movie." But
Oh wait,
my real bizarre one is Ark Nova, and, highly popular game. The whole thing with Ark Nova is, it's this fun engine builder where you're building a zoo, right? I don't think there's a whole lot of story there, but from a perspective of how it could be shot and how it could be produced, I'm thinking you lean into the stock image element of it, and very much like how like WandaVision was, it was kind of made out to be different sitcoms. It just kind of painted
Mhm.
these different vignettes. I'm just thinking this kind of weird, creepy, like everything feels like a stock image kind of film would be really bizarre. And I don't know how you would accomplish that. Everyone's just wearing very neutral clothing and just very wholesome looks on their faces all the time, that kind of thing. I don't know. It might turn into a horror movie real fast, like a psychological Alfred Hitchcock kind of deal. But yeah, how about the Isle of Cats? That's the other one. I mean,
I
think
was
about it.
thinking about that, but
Yeah,
I don't know. There's a lot of picks, like Bunny Kingdom too. I was like, okay, well, that's
yeah,
just going to be another like animated kids movie, right?
yeah. Right.
Yeah.
But like Bunny Kingdom is, there's like life to the bunnies, and they're trying to take over this kind of fantasy world. Isle of Cats is just a bizarre concept to me. It's a bunch of cats, then some evil guy is gonna come and like kill all of them if you don't rescue them in time on your boat. Like what's going on there? It's kind of a dark, like Brothers Grimm
Oh,
type of vibe.
Corey, I gotta change my list. I'm deleting my whole list right now, and my actual pick is Clank because I mean, come on, a fantasy heist movie where they're stealing treasure from a dragon. Let's go.
Yeah, I'm actually surprised you didn't have that on your list.
Yep, just thought of it now. Whoops, my bad.
Whoops. Cool. Yeah, so fun topic. I think there's likelihood that any one of these could actually happen in the next couple of years. Particularly Scythe. I think that's very realistic.
Yeah, especially the way the board game industry is going now.
Yeah.
Uh, our Lord and Savior Trump has dialed back the tariffs, so they're only 30% on China right now. So clearly, we're on the up and up.
Yeah.
Please hear the sarcasm in my voice. All right, Corey. Well, that is wrapping up another episode. But before we leave each other for an entire week and come back to record again, what have you been up to besides playing all those cool board games?
Ooh, yeah, I honestly don't have a whole lot to report. I fixed my phone on Saturday. That was kind of cool. It charges now.
Oh,
We got
that's
we
handy.
got a we got a new digital piano in the house. I'm pretty excited about that. I'm gonna be playing that guy.
Oh, cool.
I had a really El Busto old Yamaha Clavinova in the living room that I had on a basically a little coffee table. It was really wobbly. That was only a matter of time before this crushes my feet, and so it's been fixed. So there you have it. That's what I did. Got a new
Cool.
piano.
Well, I have lost many hours of my past week because I reinstalled Slipways on PC. This was
Mm,
a game that I discovered a while back when we started the show around then. And
yeah.
this is just a PC game where it describes itself as a civilization empire builder in 60 minutes. Um, you're basically discovering planets in a solar system, and each planet has a number of things it can produce if it receives a certain type of resource. And all you do is discover planets, and then you hook them up by using these slipways, these like little like slipstream paths, and you just gotta make everything get what it wants so people get happy and give you money. It's
Oh,
really simple. Plays a lot like a board game. I think I related it to something like a route builder game back in our recommendations episode.
okay.
Oh man, it's so good. It's a lot of fun. I'll put the link in the show notes for folks that want to check it out. It doesn't seem to be a very well known game because
Hmm.
there's not a whole lot of reviews on it. But
Yeah.
I looked at like the mods; they have mod support for it,
Oh
and
yeah.
there are 20 mods I think on like total for the mod community. It's just the community is just so small. There's like not a lot of people doing stuff with it. So I
Hmm.
think it's a super cool game. Um, but speaking of video games, I'm also just about to start a game jam. In fact, by the time that this episode comes out, I will probably be doing one. I'm going to go for an old 10-day game jam and make another little video game. So if that turns out as well as I hope, that is to say, if I finish it, I'll be sure to talk about it in a future episode.
I've never heard of Slipways, but it's going on my wish list right now.
Oh,
I'm
it's so
surprised
great.
to hear you say that it's easy or approachable or whatever the word was that you used, because it does strike me as one of those big, sprawling, epic civilization space games from the pictures. But there really isn't a lot of text on the screen, so
Yeah,
that's
it's
exciting.
straightforward and it lets you make and set your own goals in
Oh
that
yeah,
like you can focus on what you want to do and set up certain restrictions for just how you play the game. Like if you want to sit and just think forever, you can. It gives you all the time. It's not a timed game,
okay.
um, which is nice.
It reminds me from the images of the game Stellaris. I don't know if you heard of that one.
On my
That's a
wish list.
Paradox one.
Yeah,
Have you heard of it?
I have heard of it. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's one I downloaded. It was like $4 on sale one time, and I've always been interested in it, but I haven't been able to like sit down and commit to learning the game because
Mhm.
all the reviews I'm reading are like it's so complicated. It's like you have to read an encyclopedia to figure out how to play it. So
It's funny.
that's
As you mentioned it, Stellaris is on sale right now for $10.
oh yeah,
Yep.
yeah, look at that. So I don't have any recommendations for Stellaris other than I have it in my Steam library. Haven't downloaded and installed it, but it looks cool to me.
Yeah. Same reason it's on my wish list.
Yeah. I have Europa too for the same reason. Also a Paradox game. It's just this big, vast, chunky, thick, rules heavy game. And that stuff is always exciting to me because it's like there's so much unknown there that you can explore it and really, I don't know, master it. But the work that it takes to get to that point, it's like I gotta commit like a week straight to actually get hooked on it, to get past the chunkiness of it and get excited about it. And that seems like it's going to take a lot of effort.
I feel like we could go on a long time about video games that scratch our board game itch here. So we should
Yeah,
probably wrap it up.
there's an episode there, isn't there?
I mean, there has been episodes there.
Yeah. All right, cool. Well, I think we just say goodbye now. Yeah?
Yeah, that's what we do now. Thanks for
Yep.
listening, everyone. And
Yeah.
remember, drink water.
I'm going to go do that right now. Adam and the Analog is Corey Murphy and Harrison Dunn. Original themes and bumper music by Corey Murphy. Reach us at adamandtheanalog@gmail.com. Thank you for listening.